Welcome to another episode of 30 Minutes with DailyStraits.com. This is your host, June Rumley. Our guest today is Paris based gaming industry veteran Sami Chlagou, who is the CEO and founder of five international game development studios, including Pixel Hut, which has produced more than 50 video games for various platforms such as Nintendo, Sony, Xbox, Steam, and Android. Some of these games include popular titles such as Gun of Mercy, Finding Teddy, and Playroom Racer, which alone has reached more than 1.5 million downloads. Sunny is a lifelong fan of trading cards and collectibles and has expanded his passion into NFT space with both his collections and integral design of cross the ages. Our chat with Sammy today would revolve around the topic of creating best selling video games from the paper concept right up to the finished product. Without further ado, let's invite Sammy to the show. Hi, Sammy. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm great. I'm super great. Super excited to be with you.
Thank you so much. Let's dive right into the question. So, tell us about yourself and how did your journey into the gaming industry started?
Ooh, long story. So if you have the time, I start in 2011 on the gaming industry. So I start with selling video game, and then we launch our first startup in 2015. It was a Russian game, the first private sale in Europe of gaming. And then in 2016, we start to build studio, and every year from those this year, we build a new studio in another country, so in Brazil, in Japan, in Hungary, in England, and we start to produce video game for Nintendo, Sony, so PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, Steam, and Android. So we publish almost 55 game today on the video game industry.
Okay, so interesting. So you started selling and not designing games. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. True. Totally true. I used to make like some vintage game, so buying and sell some old school gaming, and then I start to sell some new game, and then I say it's so sad, just buying and selling. It's you do nothing as creation, and like all my life is like around the creation, how we can build something. So when we get our first studio, we start to make the storyboard of the game, create the concept, the game design to go super deep, on the experience, and then we're doing that step by step. And this is how today we publish our game, and we do absolutely everything from the beginning to the end to the distribution.
So tell me about your involvement. Are you a coder? Like you come up with the design or what?
I used to code. I used to code, but I'm better on production. So my schedule, my not my schedule, but my last experience was on the audiovisual sector. So I used to be assistant producer, and I become producer. I spent 7 years of my life just to make the production of project and to be able to make the process from the beginning to the end, and to find the good people working together and to solve problem. Yeah, the thing where I'm not bad is to solve problem. You have a problem, I will find a solution, whatever it's gonna be.
Awesome. So okay, in Australia is very close to Asia, and in Asia, right, whenever we want to do it like something with our lives, our parents play a big part in our role in our lives. So some of us would like to pursue video gaming like you. So what did you like? We're just interested to know what did you tell your parents or anybody in your family like you wanted to pursue a gaming career instead of the traditional job like a doctor or a lawyer, like how did you like tell your family this is the job that I want to do?
Oh, I think that it was the idea improved step by step. I wasn't expect when I was young to create a video game, because it was something so far that I say I never will be able to do it. And then step by step, when you feel that you are able to do something, the only thing is like to be able to just get this idea and never retreat, never surrender. Just say, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then step by step, when you made the first success, you say, yes, this is very good. I push people today. I have like some people working and super young, like having 18-year-old, like
Mm.
starting to make like creation. They are not like age, to come in the crypto, to come in gaming. For me, like starting to 13, 12, it's a good age to start and like to create the way, to be involved on this sector. So I don't know if there are a specific way, to come on the video game, but I think the passion is a thing that's able to push you when you start to have doubts, and say, oh, did I sure this is a good way, maybe I can find like a job, like a stable job, because it's not something easy. Yeah, then I think it's the passion gives the motivation to do that.
So, Sammy, what was your first game that you designed, and how did it actually help you? Because you worked with all the big guns like Nintendo, Xbox, and when you started out, you started selling first, right? So, what was the first game that got you noticed?
So in fact, we start with a game of old school. So before release game on the new generation platform, we start to release game on platform as a Dreamcast, Nintendo, Sega Master System, like the old console of the 1990, and 1992, something like super old. We created a new cartridge, and people are able to play. But 20 years after that, the end of the console, and people say, "Are you mad that you created a new support for those console?" I think that people will be super happy. People playing, to the old, generation, have a new game 20 years after. So those was like our first experience of gaming, and it was cool because it was with a low budget, and like a small project with like only 2 developers, 3 developers, one guy working on the sound, and like to be sure to manage everything to create this project. And then, when we start like to evolve, we start to create a game for Nintendo. And this is not the same budget, not the same number of people, but we made so many fail, by the past, that we avoid this fail when we start like to release the game, on the new generation console.
So, Nintendo didn't hire you, is it? They hired a bunch, like your startup, is it? They hired your startup?
So how it works? This is an excellent question. To be able to release game for Nintendo, you need to have the agreement from Nintendo. How did you get the agreement for Nintendo? You have to prepare a form and to show them that you already made a lot of success on game. And this was our case with Gun of Mercy, with like Finding Teddy, and like the other game. We show them that we are able to do more than 1 million of download, but not only one time. If you do it one time, say maybe he's lucky, he found a solution. If you do it 2 or 3 times, that means you found the key of the success to create a good game. And then they say, okay, whatever what you want to release in the future, you have a directly yes if you have the agreement. In Europe, you have only few people are able to have the agreement. It's super strict, and you have one agreement for Europe, one agreement for US, and one agreement for Asia. And all the agreements are different. So you have a new kind of process. Imagine that the form for the US is 250 pages to prepare and like to submit, and it takes 6 to 8 months to do that.
Okay. So, Sammy, they hire you or they hire your company? Do they hire you or they hire your company? Like when you started in 2015, was it you had a startup with game developers with you?
Yes. So my company is called Storybird Studio. That we are owner of this company still since 2016. And then we push this company to have this agreement, and we receive the agreement with the studio, and then we start like to publish a game for Nintendo, and then for Sony, and then for Xbox.
Okay, in your opinion, right, do gamers need to be good designers, like artists, or concept builders, storytellers?
Both. I'm sorry, but you can't avoid one. So you need, even if it's not 1 and 2 people, you need to have like good storyline first, and like giving a good gameplay and good design. It's not always easy to have like all the thing together. However, you need like to be sure that the experience will be great on different aspects. I'll give you an example. If today you go on the smartphone and you go on Apple Store, you will see like more than 200 new game every day. So you have like a new game coming, a free game and everything. So why do you spend your time on one game either another? So you need to understand that you need to create a good game, a good level design, a good storyline behind, to be able, to reach and to touch people. because after that you will have marketing also. But you need to have like all this element together to create it like the great experience.
Awesome. Okay, so can you describe the process of producing a game from a start? So how long does it take? 6, 7 months?
It depends. It depends what kind of project. For example, for our current project, Across the Ages, we spend almost 23 months. Usually, it take for a game from a retro game, it take 9 to 12 months. Some game take 18 months. How it work? First of all, you have to create the GDD, the game design document. It's the Bible, and a big book, from the game. It took months, 3 months, 4 months sometimes, because more the GDD is perfect, more the game, the developer just have to read it and like to put like everything. And inside you have absolutely all the rules of the game, how it's gonna work, how you're gonna do, if you do that, what's gonna happen, and like absolutely all the situation. And you created that to be sure that people will be able to do the run transcription about what you. It's like a house, if you don't do the plan of the house, you're not gonna say to the guy walking, I don't have any architect, just do it as you feel. I say, no, I will do it. This is exactly the same process. And then
Okay.
when you have that, you will need to start like to create a conversion, because you created that with a C code, and after that you need to convert that for Nintendo, need to convert that for Sony, because all console have a different language. And then you have like the post production. You can start like to put the sound, and you will created like the graphic asset for a book inside the game, for the cover, and then you created like the production, and you will start like the packaging to close and to finish to the expedition, how you're gonna ship, where you're gonna ship, who gonna buy the game, do you sell only for retailer, for your website, which country, which continent, which partnership. So it's like super exciting, and you have like so many things to do from the beginning, but you have just to cut it with small step.
Okay. So can you tell us, right, what are the must-have elements in a game to be considered a good game? Like you cannot do without it. It's like, like every cooking needs salt, right? So what does a game need? Must
the,
have.
the game concept. So the game concept for me is the key of the success. For example, uh, the fun to play is for me one of the key of the success. If it's not fun, it makes no sense. If you a boring game, whatever is gonna be the design. If it's boring, it's boring. Sometimes you have a design a little bit less, but it's so fun to play that you really enjoy. And whatever who you are, whatever what you're doing, the experience is so great.
Okay. So as a gaming industry veteran, how many hours in a day do you set aside to play your competitors' game? Not your game, your the ones who are competing with you, your other.
It um,
Do you play their games? Do you check on your competitors?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends the kind of game. If it's like an esport game and like with a competition, you will have people spending an average of 2 hours per day, on the game. If it's a retro game and casual game, it can be half an hour to 45 minutes. And this is always an average. You will have some people spending 6 hours per day, on the game, and you will have people spending like 20 minutes. You need to create a game where people will just have an experience where they will enjoy the game, and whatever was going to be, it has to be quick. Sometimes you just have 5-10 minutes, just you want to enjoy, do a match, and that's it, end of the story.
But how
So yeah,
many hours do you invest in a day? Do you still play people's games, like other people's games, or even your games? Do you play a lot in a day?
uh, not a lot, but I play. I try to still play to just have like always a feeling inside. So what is my point of view? Did I really enjoy the game, and like I take a distance, between the game and I, to be sure that it's still enjoyable. If, for example, it means no sense, I will ask to someone else what did he feel. My point of view is always subjective. It's not something that I say I'm objective. Absolutely not. So yeah.
Okay, so there are some companies like it's called Buildbox. It's an American company where you can purchase and then create your game. So is this a good place to start? Or should gamers, like anyone who's interested to become like you, know how to code from scratch?
So this will not allow you to program a game. it's tools to allow you to create the kind of game that the kind of player will use, and it's never be mainstream and very complicated to be mainstream because you have to convert the language to another platform in the future. So it's a way to say to someone, you can start like your experience of gaming with something. However, nothing is better than the code and to be able to code yourself, the game. And this took time, and this, for example, you have like a code called Fusion. Fusion is a code that's very simple and very easy to use to be able to create so many things on the game. However, all the people created Fusion. When people come to see me and say, I have a Fusion game, I say, I can't. I say, why? It's the game. I say, I can't. I can't. It's a too big problem for me to convert the game to make it, on the gaming industry. When people come with a C game, I say, I have this with Unity, I have that with C. I say, okay, let's talk now. We know that this is absolutely not the same, level of work after. You will spend more time just to convert than, the thing that you just have to click and you convert it directly,
Okay. So let's talk about Cross the Ages, your new baby, your new game, right? So, okay, there's a lot of things to unpack with this game. So this game is a very new game which you use NFTs. Okay, can you explain to us? Not many of us understand how to play a game and how to embed NFTs in the game. So last time when we play a game, right, if we want to go to level 2 or level 3, we have to pay like 99 US dollars or 99 cents to unlock the levels. So these days, right, the games are very different. So you have NFT, you have to go and buy the NFT in OpenSea, and then how does it work basically? How does it work?
Here we go. It's very simple. So on Cross the Ages, we try to create a new kind of experience. Imagine that this game is made to be the bridge between the collectible people from gaming industry and people from the crypto side. That means if you want to play to Cross the Ages, you don't have to pay absolutely nothing. And this is a real free to play. That means you really can download the game on your smartphone, because it's going to be on smartphone and Apple and iOS. And then you're going to start to play. You're going to win, some digital assets. And it's not yet NFT. If you want to transform your digital card digital from NFT, you need to pay $1 USD. So we try to do absolutely everything to be able to give the experience for the cheapest way. It's why we do that with Polygon. Usually, on the TCG, we always have a gas fee, expensive, like from 70, 80 USD to 150, 180 if you have many operations. And this is not something that's acceptable for us. So how we do that? Imagine that when you start to play to the game, you're going to win a match. Every match you're going to win, we're going to give you a small pack with one card inside, maybe 2, maybe 3, and even more. So more you're going to play, more you're going to be able to put it on a cube. This cube, encube your pack, and after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, you can open your pack and getting your card. And this will allow you to have an experience when you're going to play. And it's not a play to earn, but a play and earn, and the wording is totally different. Play to, that means you have to play to earn. Play and is like you have fun, you play, and you get something. So for us, the difference is super large and super different to say we are not a play to earn, we are play and earn. And yeah, I think that we have, like in the gaming industry, something evolved a lot. We used to have, like in 2008, like many mobile game and a free game that you have like an experience where you just have to play to the game and having fun. And then you have gaming come, in 2016, 2017, where the game was free, but the experience was super great because the design was amazing. It wasn't the case, on the smartphone, because it was like a small game. And they created a new kind of game where you have to pay additional pack as Fortnite, Genshin Impact. And then, 2020, 2021, coming the game with the play to earn concept. And those concepts will give you a way to make money. However, it's not free. So you have to pay, you have to rent, you have the access. And now you have in 2022 a new kind of game coming. So, okay, you don't have to pay nothing. And you can win money and you can earn money just and having like some fun. So, okay, but what is the problem? I can't, don't pay, win money, spend time. It's very simple. We just pay you for the time you spend. More you're going to spend time, more you will have card. More you will have card, more you can convert your card into crystal or CTA token or USDT, whatever it's gonna be, but you will have a real value, and you will create your own asset. When people used to spend time on playing World of Warcraft and like Counter Strike, having asset, having skin, everything they get from the past, they can do nothing with it. End of the story. Now everything you will get across the ages, whatever it's gonna be, you can trade it and say, okay, I have fun. Thank you very much. Bye bye. I want to sell some card. Whatever I'm gonna do, you are able to do whatever you want.
So that card you can sell in OpenSea and all the NFT
You can
market.
sell it in our own marketplace. Only the pack, we created a new kind of pack now that you can buy and sell, on OpenSea. It's for the early access. So the game going to be released in June, so it's super soon. It's tomorrow. Uh, and yeah, so getting the chance to get the pack is something totally unique, because we have like only a small slot for people, and this will allow them to be start the game 1 month before everyone, and to having the deep experience across the ages.
Okay. Okay. Finally, what would be your advice for someone with a game idea? They have a game idea, but they don't know where to start.
This is a good question, because I receive this question. I think like every week people say, okay, how can I do now? I'm young, I want to start, I want to do something. So the best way today is to be like on Discord channel. Discord is one of the way of communication where you can find people like you, like making development. You are not able to do everything alone. It's not possible. So my point of view is very simple. I always say to the people, you need to create a team. But you say, okay, I'm alone, I'm in another country, how can I know people, how can I do that? I say, okay, you can go on Discord channel where people want to provide some assistance, and trying to get a group and try to find some profile to try the first partnership. I guess and expect that it will be a fail for the first, second, and third time, because you need to understand how to work with collaboration with people, how avoid the good to the specific people, and people like saying like some stuff, and like finding the good partner. Maybe you're lucky and you will find some amazing partner that you will be able, both together with 2 3 people, starting to create a game concept. And then there are today some platform as Kickstarter, and some platform allowed you to raise some amount of money if you created something. That means you say, okay, I'm just starting my experience, I know that I have something very good. We don't have a lot of money, we just have our time, and we expect to get, let's say, 100K, 50K, whatever it's going to be, to develop the game. So we're gonna create a folder to show to the people some image of your game, what you do, what you achieve, what is your roadmap, and you have some backer, some people coming and to give you some help. And you have 2 years, for example, to create your game after that. So it will give you a time to create something, and then a lot of studio are coming, to see what's happened on Kickstarter. And when the game is very good, as we do on the past, we contact the people, say, okay, you created the game, you don't have a studio, we can do absolutely everything and produce the game, and we can provide you assistance for your backer, and send them a game that they will be sure that everyone will be happy. So this is a good process and a good way to start. It's possible to start when you have like 11 and 12, in my point of view, and this will allow you to have like a large advantage. The potential of the young people is infinite, absolutely infinite. And this is something that we are super close, because we have like a school with a teenager starting from 12 to 13, and we form them for the future. We have some people like very great entrepreneur today. They are 15, they go to school, but they are super smart, they created their own company. And this is the thing that we want to push, because we truly believe in the potential of the new young generation.
Okay, awesome. So, all right, that is all the time that we have for today. We have just been speaking to Sami Chlagou.
Shlagou,
Chlagou, sorry.
you
Thank
got it.
thank you, Sami, for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for the time that you give me to share my passion with you.
Thank you. The pleasure is all ours. Be sure to join us the next time as we aim to interview another interesting entrepreneur from across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you.